All right, let's see here if I am live. Get to my channel here. Yes, I think I am live here. Yeah, let me take a sound check. Okay, sounds good. Grandpa Jay, first in with the mostest. How you doing, my friend? Hey, Marie Duffy, how are you? Nice to see you. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Gonna have a little pie, fat and sassy. Grandpa Jay, that's exactly the way I like him. Shamaj, how are you doing, sweetie? Almost Uber. Nice to see you today. Just finished your dinner. Hey, Marie Duffy. I think you're in Ireland, correct? Or Northern Ireland there. Can't remember where you are. How you doing, Beryl? Good morning to you. I should say good afternoon to you. Hello, Allison. Nice to see you. And we'll let the stream populate a little bit. I did featuring today the blueberry pie. Hey, Quinny. Hey, Bella Rose. Been busy with the granddaughter here for a couple days. Good for you, Bella Rose. The Queen of Buffalo in the chat. There we go. There's the blueberry pie that was made last night. Now you're wondering, what the heck happened to that piece? Hello, Morning Glory. What the heck happened to that piece of pie? Okay. Well, Missy Jenn wanted to take a morning off today from tasting. Scottish, how you doing, honey? I'll send you a reply in a little bit. Tell you this, good morning, Miguel. Greetings, how are you? Well, I have something to tell this. Yesterday I was going with Subway along with my mom. I was eating steak tacos El Parisio in the supermarket. I love blueberry pie. There we go, watching and enjoying my turkey, bacon, and tomato on toast. Oh, that's got to be so good. Hello, Jeff Giordano. I don't know how the Red Sox did last night, but I think you can see the pie cuts very well. How you doing? Uber Goober on the road. I'm going to go ahead and cut myself a piece of pie. I usually wait till the end, but this morning I can't resist the pie. Missy Jenn had a piece already. She's giving me a thumbs up from over there at Missy Jenn Central. She's on her farmer channels there. Get a good cut of that pie. Let's lift out a piece there. And I have to try a piece of this pie. And there we go. All right. You need to open a bakery. Look at that. And my blueberry pie was made with a twist. Okay. And that was the subtraction of 1 tablespoon out of a cup of sugar and an addition of 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. And what that does, oh, it is almost orgasmic, guys. Almost orgasmic. It is borderline on here. Absolutely delicious. And I will tell you what, the addition of that bit of brown sugar deepened the flavor of the blueberries dramatically. That crust is good. BWW, how you doing? There's Missy Jenn. That pie is yummylicious. There we go. That's straight from the boss there. And I like a pie that cuts really well. And this is not really high calorie here. I went and bought the blueberries yesterday. What a good addition for coffee. You know, when I was growing up, pie was always a staple on the morning, on the table in the morning. Just throw down a store pie and everybody would grab a piece and do their thing. Hello, Mouse Toes. Hey, Julie Army Mom, how are you? Just enjoying my blueberry pie. And I want to thank those of you who were on the stream last night. As usual, it was a lot of fun. And big shout out to Scottish Sarah, and she really made it a lot of fun. Another one of those nice Texas gals down. I was just watching your video. Blueberry pie. It's one of my favorites too. One of my definite favorites too. Let me turn my phone off here. That's a pain when that thing. My phone's been blowing up all morning. I know Dee's running a long chat stream, and my phone. The hell was that? My phone's been blowing up this morning, and I just want to make a comment on that. Julie Army Mom, daughter hit a deer, really banged her car up, and apparently let her insurance lapse. Oh no. Oh no. Lucky to be alive. Oh my goodness. That's going to be some damage. Hey Harvey, good morning. Good morning to you. I should say good afternoon to you in the great United Kingdom. England, Scotland, Wales. Yeah, so I'm definitely enjoying my pie. I want to have this. Bud, 4 scores, how you doing, my friend? Let's get, everybody seems a little raggedy this morning. Let's up the tempo a little bit, huh? Here we go. All right. Oh, don't jump the gun there. Here we go. All right, let's get everybody out of their seats. When you Baltimore Clippers, when you Clippers from Baltimore, fight you Baltimore Clippers. Baseball fight for a Baltimore score. Defense men, forwards, and goalies will win. Hey, Andrea. I did make the pie. Thank you, Anna. Get ready. Fight, when you Baltimore Clippers. When you Clippers from Baltimore. Fight you Baltimore Clippers. Take it up a half step, baby. Bully. Now the arena is rocking. Those hot dogs are flying, baby. The management requests that you refrain from throwing things on the ice. Thank you very much for your cooperation. The Baltimore Civic Center thanks you. For Baltimore and Maryland, everything. Hey, Vanessa. Fight, fight, fight. Another half step. Now you're really rolling, baby. Clippers. When you Clippers from Baltimore, fight you Baltimore Clippers, and score, score, score. Oh man, if that doesn't get the blood flowing in the morning. You guys look like you were dragging a little bit on a Saturday morning. You know what? Midnight, I believe. I was slipping between the sheets, and at 7 a.m. it was wake up time. Spirits, how you doing? I know y'all got a smile on your face this morning out there. Saturday, early September. It is September 7th, 2019. And you know what happened on this day in history? You know what happened? Anybody got a guess what happened on this day in history? Somebody tell me what happened on this day in history. Okay, let me sit my keyboard down here. Let me get another piece of my delicious blueberry pie here. Oh man. You know what happened on this day in history? Not a damn thing. How you doing? I'm not sure, Tom, if I'll be watching the Maryland Syracuse game. It's probably be another one-sided thing. Good morning, Nate. How are you? The pie is out of this world. I'm very happy to see the IRC bully here today. Oh shit. Blueberry on the boobs. right down Broadway. Napoleon beat the Russians, huh? Oh, 21-7 Maryland. Now, Tom, that is unusual. Okay. They did last time they won an NCAA championship was back in 1950 something. It's been a long time, so maybe they have a decent team. Yeah, I gave it an egg wash on top of it there, Anna, and I believe that makes the real difference on here. So. Let me see, my messages are just blowing up this morning. I guess Dee's blowing up the chat over there or something. Okay, let me sit that down and just turn that. Still no R in wash. So it's good to see you guys. Looks like I went back a little too far. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. Oh, yeah. Oh, what did you say? Napoleon beat the Russians. Oh, okay. All right. I don't know. Napoleon's ill-fated decision to march on Moscow, right? A very famous blunder, military blunder in history. And it's very interesting, that story. When you mention that, that's fascinating to me, because if you read Tolstoy's War and Peace, it's all about the war of, the war between the War of 1812 between France and Russia. And what people don't know is many years before that, when Sweden was a very formidable force in military and conquest, they had a very effective army. They decided to do the same thing that Napoleon was to do years later, with the same disastrous consequences. They always said old General Winter was the one that won the battle for the Russians, and it's true. Okay, I think it was King Carl II of Sweden tried an ill-fated march into Russia too, and it ended in disaster. But what's really fascinating, over 100 years later, when Hitler tried to do his ill-fated invasion of Russia, there's a river that you cross called the Dnieper, D-N-E-I-P-R, and it's a significant barrier to getting into Russia. Okay, and it was when Hitler's troops had advanced to that river, they looked down in the river and they could see a wooden structure under the river. Okay, and it was very puzzling to them. And this is the case with most military groups. They have a historian and an archivist with them that records their travels, okay, for later. If it turns out to be a disaster, it's generally not written up. But if it turns out to be a glorious conquest, they're there to write the story. And of course, they had the Battle of Borodino, which was fairly close to Moscow, and Tchaikovsky wrote the War of 1812 overture to celebrate that Russian stalemate, what it actually was. So it's a very fascinating confluence of history. But when Hitler stood on the troops with all of his lightning panzer divisions, they were puzzled by what they were seeing down in the river below them, and they just couldn't figure it out until that archivist came through and told them that was the ruins of the bridge that King Carl II of Sweden had laid down to go across the same river. And you would think that that would be a warning shot to them, staring at that ill-fated history of that time. And the ill-fated history of Napoleon that Actually Napoleon was the one who spied the bridge from King Carl II, and Hitler had the same experience. We all know that things ended disastrously in Russia, and the real tragedy of Napoleon's crew was they wreaked havoc on the peasants. On the march to Moscow, they raped, they pillaged, they destroyed the land, they took everything in sight. They took women along with them and just discarded them as so much trash. Well, what goes around comes around. And by the time they started heading out in November back to the long march back to Paris, because King Tsar Alexander refused to meet with them, all those peasants were waiting on the long march back to Paris, and they wreaked havoc. They dismembered Napoleon's forces. I mean, literally would draw and quarter them and do all kinds of unspeakable, horrific things. Meanwhile, they were harassed by the Russian guard on the way. It was a very terrible experience, but a lot of lessons that were never learned. Anyway, very interesting that you should mention that, because that's a very it's a very fascinating chapter in history, and it shows you what happens when your ego outruns your military sense. All right. Good morning, Nathan. Thank you. It was absolutely brutal when you read the stories of what these peasants, burning soldiers alive, soldiers freezing to death, nothing to eat. They came back with all the ridiculous furs and all the ornaments of the Russian monarchy. They were carrying them back with them, and they brought ladies back with them, and they froze to death in their mink stoles, and it was just it was a disaster. I think he's out of 500,000 troops that marched to Moscow. Only 50,000 came back. About 90,000 were lost on that journey. Biggest military disaster in history. Anyway, lots to talk about this morning. Let me get to my subject list here. Let me move this around a little bit. So much for history, so much for blueberry pie this morning. Let me see my order here. It was very sad. It was just the ridiculousness of a big ego, and we certainly know what that's about on YouTube. I want to do the Yuma van travel update. Yeah, the history is fascinating. World history has always been something that has captivated me and held my attention, particularly from about 1700 onward. So the first thing I want to talk about this morning is my Yuma travel update on there, and I'm going to get to some other things. There's a lot of misunderstandings and a lot of false information that's put out about my travel documents and this and that, and I want to once again make this perfectly clear to everybody, so I'm going to get that. The first thing, the update on the van, I put a call into Fiat Chrysler headquarters. Nobody picked up the phone when I called down early afternoon to my Dodge Ram dealer. I ended up going down, this allergy season's kicking in. I ended up going down and personally standing before the counter, and my service representative had quit the day before. And the other guy, who's a real snarky dude that I've worked with for quite a while, with the transmission light coming on and all that bullshit, he's like, well, I got to find your paperwork because your service manager cut out yesterday and quit. Okay, and I'm like, why is that my problem? Are you guys that chaotic? And he's like, well, I'm going on vacation tomorrow till the end of October. The service manager, the overall manager, is on vacation until next Thursday. So basically he's saying, go kick rocks. So I called they lost the part, which was utter and complete bullshit. Things have a tracking in the system. So I called Fiat Chrysler and they're like, take the rental car, even if you want to go to Southern California, the dealer's paying for it, we'll stand behind you. It doesn't do me a lot of good to take a Nissan Sentra to Southern California. I'm sure as hell not gonna sleep in the back of a car, much less one that's black, painted black, and tried to make a go of it in Yuma. I need my van to be over in San Diego. So here we sit. So, of course, the Fiat Chrysler representative is my Fiat Chrysler representative. She's a level up. She's on. She's off until Monday, of course, so nothing can be done. And they said at the dealership, even if your part comes in on Saturday, the people that do that kind of work don't work on Saturday. I guess they have the car jockeys that hump tires around and do oil changes and all that kind of shit. So I'm thinking Monday or Tuesday, we'll wait for the call from the Chrysler rep, and we'll see the Fiat Chrysler rep. But obviously, service is just a disaster these days. Shit gets lost. People have no concept what they're doing. But I will be putting it in gear when it comes for the Southwest. And I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, Spirits. So you never own a car, you're only paying rent. Well, that's exactly right. I'm still paying this thing off. I got a very low interest rate, but I'm still paying it off. I mean, that's the bottom line on this thing. So it's very ridiculous. The bullshit that I'm going through with this vehicle, they ought to be ashamed of themselves to be that incompetent at that group. So that's it. I want to get to my that's the sad van update. The bad thing is the woman called me when I was on a live stream. Y'all heard it on Thursday. My Fiat Chrysler rep. You heard it on the morning live stream. And she got my hopes all up. Oh, the parts in LA, it should be in the dealer tomorrow. You can be on your way on the weekend. Well, we see how that turned. We see how that turned in. Hello, Cobra John. Nice to see you. And I will take steps for that. I do have another alternative dealer in the area, and I won't go back to this. I won't go back to this dealership again. Now, what do I think about my Dodge ProMaster City 2016? When I have it, it's great. When I don't have it, it's a freaking mess. All right, Cobra John remembers back in October, November, when I would be going down to Oakland and doing choo-choos, that my transmission temperature light came on, my check engine light, and the engine would go into a preservation mode. The maximum RPM would drop down, and that shit leaves you stranded. And the power just gradually decreases, and you have to get off the highway on a very high overpass on a very complicated MacArthur maze, they call it down there. It's like a road spaghetti, right? It's all kinds of roads twisting and turning. Some roads go to San Francisco, some go to Oakland, some go to San Jose. It is a mess. Okay, it's very risky to be up on these crazy ass Bay Area interchanges and roads when something goes bad with your rig, because people do 90 miles an hour and they don't give a shit. And you fear for your life when you step outside of your van and things. So they put me in a very dangerous situation last year, multiple times. Babying the rig to the O'Reilly to try to buy a new gas cap and all this kind of crap. It's a mess. Yeah, I had to pull over every few blocks to reinstall the gas cap. It would be good for 2 blocks. And then I'm on my way again and the indicator lights come up. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. But when it was fixed, it's ran good. It did. From that time, about 12,000 miles, 10,443 miles across the United States on the Great Lakes Fan Tour of 2019, which was a blast. Hey, Kenny G. So when I got it back, all I wanted to do when I went into that dealership was take a friggin' key in and have it reprogrammed, my new replacement key, so I would have an extra. And here I am, 11 days later, sitting around with this dumbass rental car with a dumbass service department that doesn't evidently know their head from their hiney down there. Okay? And that's very disturbing to me, and it should be disturbing to anybody. Yeah, it's very difficult to think about getting rid of this rig because it meets a lot of my requirements. Number one, it's mostly, I have that thing clipped up there. It's mostly paid for. Okay. I got a very 0% interest rate on it. I negotiated hard. You can see the video from July of 2017 when Missy Jenn and I went shopping for a van. Okay. Number one, it's very, it's almost paid for. Number two, it's very stealth. When my conversations with Marshall, all of his travels, he's like, man, my big concern is what am I going to do when I get to San Diego and my camper van is going to stick out like a sore thumb. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. Have you seen how prohibitively expensive rentals are in San Diego, short-term rentals? You're going to have to, you're the boondocking king. You're the guy that successfully boondocked in Key West for 7 days or something without having a police encounter. Hey, Jen. I guess you're just going to have to figure it out. Or be way on the outskirts of San Diego. Whereas D and I, he can be in his minivan, and he's going to be suspect too because he'll have reflectives on the windows. So it's going to be a very harrowing experience until we get to feel for what it's like to boondock in San Diego. Okay. It's a town that hates people living in vehicles. They love people being in hotels for $250 a night. Okay, that's the whole industry besides the military down there. That's the whole deal. Cindy said I should have listened to my dad and not bought my Grand Cherokee. I put a lot of money into it. Thank God it's paid off. Yeah, I hear you. The third thing, the second thing is stealth. Nobody looks at my truck and imagines it's anybody's inside of that vehicle. Okay? California license plate doesn't stand out at all. Put that in any kind of commercial area, tuck it in somewhere. Nobody's going to have a problem. I can guarantee you I'm not going to have any issue with boondocking down there. Okay? I never have had a police call to this vehicle, and I plan on keeping that way. Okay? I plan on keeping that way. So how it's going to play out, I don't know. How things are going to go in Mexico, I don't know. I don't know. It's all playing it by ear coming up. Boy, this is good. Very, very delicious. Very delicious. Okay? So that's it, the stealth. Now, the next thing is The vehicle gets outstanding gas mileage, 30 miles to the gallon, for hauling your home around. 30 miles to the gallon. Unbelievable. That's a huge consideration in running that van. A huge consideration in running that van is the miles per gallon. You contrast that with a camper van that gets about 8 or 9 miles an hour on 8, maybe 10 at the most on flat ground. Big difference. Hey, Afta, how you doing, sweetheart? Nice to see you. Hey, Kawana, how are you, honey? It's blueberry pie time. Enjoying the delicious blueberry pie. Slices beautifully. Set very well. Absolutely delicious. Hello, Mr. Z. Mr. Z in the chat. All right. That's why I love the van. Would I like to have a camper van? Of course I would like to have a camper van. Do I have $20,000 to put into a camper van? No. Am I going to do a fundie for a camper van? No. Okay. We all want shit in life. But the question is, and the issue is, I like to do things on my own. And I like to make my choices and do it my way. Yeah, I'd love to have a Road Trek 210. I'd like to have a Pleasureway wide body. A Great West van like Mr. X has. People that have Class C's want to have big Class A's and big, $250,000 Monarch motor coaches. I get that. And Prevost vans. But it's not in my future, and it probably never will be in my future unless lightning strikes, okay? And that's fine. That's fine. Because I have the ability to duck in and get cheap hotels, hostels, and stuff like that if need be. All right, so there's the sad update on the van and why I'm still here on Saturday when I should have been rolling out today. I want to now talk about my travel papers, all right, because I'm hearing a lot of nonsense in some of the chats, and people are sending me screenshots of what people are saying. We went through all this stuff when it came to going to Canada. All right, went through all that stuff. My birth certificate was not able to be found in the city of Baltimore because of some file storage move. Of course, it's the city of Baltimore, so it was ineptly handled. Okay? Whatever file monkeys or whatever were moving around files and stuff like that. I didn't have a birth certificate, okay? I did not have a birth certificate, but what I did have was an expired passport from the 1990s. All right, when I lived in China for 5 years. And I went all over Macau, I went all over Singapore, Taiwan, Vietnam, everywhere. Malaysia, Thailand, I did it all. China. Even had a 10-year visa, multiple entry visa from Taiwan. 10 years. Now the reason I was able to get that, okay, was because at that time when I applied by virtue of marriage, I became a lawful and forever legal permanent resident of Hong Kong. All right, something that will be with me forever. Okay, what does that mean? It means I have the right of abode forever in Hong Kong, fully recognized by the People's Republic of China. Okay. That's what that means. And I've shown that before on the streams, the permanent residency ID card. Okay. That thing is forever. All right. It's not taken away unless you do something criminally insane and have it removed. That was another very complicating factor in my passport issuance situation, to have to try to explain permanent residency status in what's now effectively the People's Republic of China. Yes. Does it raise eyebrows? Yeah. Is it that rare? Yeah, I guess it is. As a result of all of that crap and the back and forth with the National Passport Center in New Hampshire, they ended up issuing me a limited United States passport. A limited passport recognizes that you're probably a legitimate United States citizen, but at the current time, we can't exactly pinpoint the documents that support this case. Okay, but since you, hey Lee, since you had a prior passport, we're going to go on that basis. All right, and I showed on the back of my passport, in letters on the back of it, typed and processed right into the passport, that this is a limited passport, good for a 2-year period. Most passports are 10 years, until such time as we're able to more securely put the administrative supports beneath your passport. And that's what I'm traveling on now. Yes, she is Jockey Blue Chinese. Yes, exactly. Okay. All right. Having that ace in my pocket is forever with Hong Kong. I can go there. I can purchase a house. An apartment. I can vote in Hong Kong if I want to. I can do anything over there. All right. I get all the legal benefits of a native-born Hong Kong person. Yeah, I used to hang out with with Ho Chi Minh. Okay. That's the reality of my travel. That's why I was able to get into Canada. All right. Because luckily, I had a friend in D. I was able to use his family address to have that document, those items sent up there. And I didn't know that they would be there in time. That they would be there by the time I arrived in Michigan, picked up that passport, temporary passport, with all of my medical documentation as to gender and the care that I've been under. I had that all tucked in, and I ran the border. Now, some people have commented, "Oh, the search over the border at Port Huron was fake," because if you look at the picture before and after, it's the same. Well, my van is a multi-level van. If you look at my build-out video, I built a raised platform that's 1 foot off of the base of the van. Reason being, because I could store a lot of stuff under there. Now, when I was told to pull over and we want to do an inspection of your van, the border control guy didn't concentrate on my sleeping bag and on my sheets. He took one corner, opened up all the doors, lifted up from this side, sat it down, lifted up from this side, sat it down, lifted up from the back, took a look. Okay. All right. What he did concentrate on was what was underneath. Tools with a box cutters. Okay, in my toolbox. Wanted to know if I had arms. Searched all my hanging nets on the sides of my van. Took a long time to look over my travel papers. Called it in to somebody. I have no idea who. The guy said we'd never really seen a limited passport like this up here. And after a very thorough search, opening up one of my water bottles and pouring it out and taking a sniff test and all that. After all that, I was on my way. And I did a video as such. And now I have a decent travel document. When you go to Mexico, there's nothing at the border. When you cross through into Tijuana from San Diego, sometimes there's a guy sitting at the desk there, about 25 feet inside of the Mexican border. He's usually leaning it back in his chair against the wall on an open air covered structure there. And he usually has his cap tipped forward, his feet are up on the chair, and he's usually sleeping. And there's a bunch of maps of Tijuana sitting there, and you can grab a map and do it. Ain't nobody checking passports. Ain't nobody worrying about anything in Mexico. Glad to hear it, BW. Nothing goes on over there. The real issue is coming back into the United States. That's where the rubber meets the road. Okay? All those towns are the same way. Mexico just doesn't expend money on a lot of border control. They do where trucking's coming in. You know, they want to collect their duties, make sure that their duties are collected, their import taxes, custom and excise duties, but not on things that are going on foot. Good morning, Kitten Cat. Nice to see you. Not on things that are going in, not on people that are going in on foot. You do the crossing in Yuma, ride over to Algodondes. You park on the Native American land there. You pay them their $6 or $10, and you walk through a turnstile with a notification that don't take armaments into Mexico, and make sure you're out of here by 10 p.m. at night. You know why? Because we close the gate. The United States doesn't process anybody coming back after 10 p.m. and I think till about 4 a.m. in the morning or so. Okay? There is. Well, I tell you, Elvis should record that. When you go on the USA side, they don't want cameras. I stood in line and I got some video going across the border. And, you know, I looked up at the sign, you're being monitored, no recording devices of any kind. So I put my camera down. Okay? On the United States side, they're really serious business about stuff. You go down to Friendship Park, which is that very sad park that I did multiple videos about, where people from Mexico and the U.S. can meet across a fence and touch fingers and everything else. 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday a week. You drive in there, it's a hellish drive. Okay, and you'll see border patrol agents up and down the border in the bushes and everything else. If you try some bullshit, they're going to be right on top of you. They got infrared, they got state-of-the-art telephotos and anything. Can you film any of the new border wall? We'll check it out. Hey nature man. Hey nature man, nice to see you this morning. Okay. That's the realities of traveling into Mexico. So my papers are specifically designed to get me the hell out of Mexico. All right. Might I take a hotel in Mexico? I very well could. You know, I'm not sure. In a streaming house. All right. Yeah, I've done a lot of videos on the border. Check them out. Just put Mexico in my search box and you'll see everything that you need to know. All the videos, all the trips, Missy Jenn, starting back in 2014, our initial trip down there. Okay. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens about who gets interviewed and who doesn't get interviewed. So that covers my travel papers. I want to get into Dr. W. All right. I'm getting some blowback from Dr. W. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to bullshit you. Dr. W claims that he's quote blocked out time for me tomorrow to be coming through San Diego. All right. Evidently, this guy's a really busy guy. And he's like, beyond that, I can't make any guarantees. When I contacted him, Dr. W is an Uzbeki doctor that practices down in the Cardiff, Ensenada area of San Diego. Evidently, after my research, it's an extremely wealthy seaside town. Okay, tremendously wealthy people there. And Dr. W's expressed the interest in contributing some money towards Marshall's Tooth Fund on condition that I take and handle the money as if I'm some kind of financial conservator for him. Okay? Now, because this place is very close off I-8, like I said, I wouldn't drive 10 or 20 miles to potentially be catfished by somebody and be standing there like a dumb sucker waiting for somebody that's not showing up. Okay? But because Cardiff by the Sea and Ensenada are right off of Highway 8, okay, I'm fine. I'll do it. I'll invest the time, but I'm not going to be your caddy on a golf course. You know, I don't feel like hanging around a country club down there. So when I informed Dr. W as to the state of my van, I got a simple reply from Dr. W. He's like, 2 words, that's that. That's that. And I replied and I said, what exactly does that mean? He said, look, this offers for Sunday. You have a rental car. You can still drive down here and get the money. Overnight, I'll hang out with you here Sunday and you can head back Monday. Ain't no way. I'm driving 400 miles to pick up any money on a Sunday and do an 800-mile round trip. I might do it for my kids. I might do it for my ex, but I'm sure as hell not doing it for anybody else. Okay? That's the reality of that situation. So he's basically like, I just have to drop back and punt then and just reconsider my position. It was a one-time offer, but I'll think it over. Okay, think it over. All right. If you think that I'm going to drive an 800-mile round trip to meet you or maybe not meet you, you got another thing coming. It ain't never going to happen. All right. I might have been born in the morning, and this is not to be insulting because I've communicated with him. His name is real. It checks out. But have a little heart for somebody that's vanless right now. No, I can't afford a hotel in Cardiff by the Sea in September or that. I got to bring my van with me to Boondock. That's the only way. That's the only way that I can do it. No, he wants to put cash in my hand and my hand only. All right. He does not want to put a thin dime in Marshall's hands. And that's his decision to do that. Okay. 800 miles for $500, it isn't even worth it, you know. And he's a nice guy. He's going to understand what I'm saying today. So you can reconsider it. I don't know when I'm going to be on the road. I got no idea. Based on the incompetence of, yeah, it's an escrow. Based on the incompetence of the dealer that I'm working with, I might be on the road by Thanksgiving. Who in the hell knows? The way these dips are going. Yeah, so I have to be careful, Beryl. It's one thing. It's, well, I don't think so, Andrew. They're not going to do crowns and caps and all that stuff for somebody. Okay? How you doing, Smooth? Good morning to you. So, HX, he's not going to do that kind of, he's not going to do that kind of stuff. Nor am I going to do that, the shirts, the merch, and all that kind of stuff. So, that's the situation as it stands. with the travel. I'll be taking off when the van's ready. Of course, the window of fun is closing for me because I have to be back here in early October for Missy Jenn's pending infusion, date unknown. And then it's off to Las Vegas. I don't know if Elvis is coming or not. Don't bother me about it. Okay, I know Dee's going to be there, line screw. Line screw said he would definitely meet Elvis, no problem at all. So I'm not going to speak for him about that. I do know that October in Las Vegas starts to cool down, especially at the nighttime. It should be okay for boondocking. Dee will have his van. If Marshall comes, he will have his camper van. And I will have my van, although I'll probably check myself into the cheap hotel so I can have some fun daytime. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, Nature Man. Okay, you take care. Enjoy. All right. Let me see what Dill Rogers. Let me see what Dill Rogers put here. Yeah, how you doing, Dill Rogers? Good to see you. All right. Well, it's not my call, Jordan. So I don't care. He's certainly invited. Has an invite as far as I can see to the meetup. So it might be a big to-do down there. It's supposed to be the 17th of the 17th. A cheap hotel to me is 25 to $50, something in that range. That would I consider a cheap hotel. That's always what I try to stay at. Okay, take care, Kiwana. Have a good one, honey. Yeah, there should be some good Airbnbs. I'm not sure down there. I may set up a streaming house on the Mexico side. I'm not quite sure. Now, Mr. Dirty, you guys know he stream sniped me in Las Vegas. The guy's a veritable mountain of a man. Not a guy to be trifled with. And, you know, on this Las Vegas meetup, he's made it quite clear that he will make his presence known again on the streams or whatever we're doing in Las Vegas. It's just another thing to keep tucked in the back of your mind because there's a lot of moving pieces on the board. There's a lot of people that are going to be putting it in gear, and I don't know what those people's intentions are at the end of the day. So that tends to be the issue. Mr. Dirty was an absolute gentleman. HX, I'm walking down East Fremont Street with D, and a guy comes up behind, and I just hear Rosie, and I turn around, and I'm basically staring at a guy's belly button. Okay, and I look up, and here's a guy 6 feet 5 inches tall. All right, good looking guy. And I'm like, okay, this is it. I don't have my pepper spray. I don't have jack. Okay, even D was like, whoa. The guy proceeds to tell me, you know, I want to say something about Elvis. He's like, I don't like what you do with Elvis. Okay, I have an opinion about that. I came out to tell you that opinion. But I do understand the aspects of loyalty and friendship, and we will not see eye to eye on this thing. We exchanged a few pleasantries. You can see it on the Chooch. All of my hangouts always stay up. I guess he went home and thought about it. The next night, he showed up on the pop-up party stream we had with Cowboy, Pops, everybody over there. We had a hell of a good time, pop-up party. And he showed up, and I guess as if to level things off and ice the cake evenly. How you doing, Tom? I guess is to keep things even. He came up to me and said how much he enjoyed my content, like what I was doing there with the street streaming. He got the fact that there was no disrespect in my street stream. There was a person, me, that was engaging, having fun with people, and leaving people better than I found them, and with a smile on their face. He got it. So I now consider him a friend of mine. And he's one of the dozens of people that have stream sniped me. And it's going to be more and more as time goes on. I recognize that. Why? Because when you live stream, I'm not Nomadic Fanatic with a 3-day delay in when I post my videos. When I'm live, you know exactly where I am. I have people come by and hoot and holler. I had Tim S. come by the next night with beer and bud for everybody. You know, he's like, where are you guys exactly? Blah, well, here we are, and he comes by. Okay? All right. There's not much I can do to defend myself in those situations because I'm not going to tell you the truth, I'm not going to be changing my ways because of something that could happen on the streets. How you doing, Ace? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yeah, I just, Kitten Cat's okay in here, and she has multiple accounts and stuff. I just hope Kitten Cat and Bully can just kind of bury it. Happy Saturday, Chronic. Nice to see you. Yeah, Vegas Vixen stream sniped me. How you doing today, honey? Nice to see you. Okay, so we've covered Dr. W's difficult request. I hate to tell you, Marshall, I guess the money just slipped right through my fingers. Okay, I guess that dough just slipped right between my fingers there. Oh well, we'll see how it plays out. There's limits to what I'll do and limits to what I won't do. All right, Smooth is generally a nice person, okay? All right, Smooth and I get along well. I guess Smooth sees some of the, how you doing, Juice? Sees Juice, Smooth indoors and watches some of the things that go on other streams, and he has opinions about the things that occur. And I cannot change his opinions. And he is he's a friend of mine, okay? He's a friend of mine. That trip is not worth it. So, and he'll always be a friend of mine. Hello, Cassidy. Nice to see you. Cassidy, I hope you're safe, honey, and you didn't sustain any damage down there. I've been thinking about you a whole heck of a lot. And also, Awesome Hooker. I've not seen Awesome Hooker for a while. My thoughts go out to you. Okay? Well, I'm saying Kitten Cat. In my world, I try to respect everybody in my chat. I try to let the negative people come in and express their opinions. That's fine. There's a right way to express things and a nasty way to see things. To say things. So, I think Mr. X might be getting a little, a little out of sorts about things because it's been a long road, and I guess his feeling is by this point in time, if you don't like it, jump off of the streams and do something else. I guess that's the bottom line. Okay, let's see. 0 damage. Rosie Hooker's fine. I talked with her yesterday. Minor roof damage. Okay. Please convey my thoughts to her. Yeah, I don't really follow too much in the way of other chats. I usually catch up on them in the next day. Now my phone is blowing up this morning, and I want to talk about D-Dubs on here. And of course, D-Dubs is a guy that I really introduced to the boy back in May. I think it was right before his birthday. And D-Dubs and I have gotten on famously. Okay, we've had multiple meetups. Every time we stream together, it's epically fun content because we never know what the hell's going to happen. We have no concept what's going to happen. Let me just turn off this notification here coming across. Okay. I enjoy D's content. He's not everybody's cup of tea. I get that. Okay. But the point I want to make now is please don't blow up my phone with what takes place on Dee's stream. I checked in, I said hi this morning just to sort of check it out. I got multiple messages overnight. I thought I was cool with Dee and all this kind of stuff. Look, all right, what I want to say is Dee's stream is Dee's stream, and you live and die and take responsibility for your own stream, okay? If you think I have any sway over what Dee talks about and the things that he addresses on his channel, then you don't know me very well, okay? People rise and fall of their own merits here on YouTube, all right? I will caution a couple things. I know I was popped by when he said I have a confession to make. I really love drama and want to be in the drama community and troll accounts and things like that. That's on D. That's on D. I don't have a troll account, okay? I never have. If I have something to say, I come in myself. Is that the real Rosie? Okay, like, yeah, that's the real Rosie. And I say what I have to say, okay? But I'm not like that way. I'm not a person that raps into drama. I rap into real life, which creates drama, which between Elvis and I, we've created a cottage industry of people that follow what's going on. And that's fine. But for me, after many years doing live streams and doing hangouts, I punched my ticket on it. And I came to the conclusion that most drama, it makes good watching in the short term, but it ends up being toxic. It takes out not only people on the side chat, not only people in other chats, but it ends up taking you out. And I would just caution again, I don't anything I got text about. Yeah, I'm just saying, well, he's, you know where he is, okay? But I got people texting me this morning, I didn't know it was drama or this and that, and get a handle on this guy. He's been drinking too much and blah. It's not my responsibility, okay? He's a grown man. He's a 40-year-old man. I'm concerned about what happens one-on-one with me and Dee. I don't want to get involved with his relationship with Vegas Vixen, his relationship with Kat, which is obviously strained and I guess horrific at this point. I don't want to be involved with his relationship with Mallory, with Black Bigot. It's not my responsibility. I only worry about when he and I are together, because I know if you sow the seeds of starting to talk and you have some liquor and your lips start to become loose, you may not see it because things take time to sprout. They're like a seed. You plant the seeds slowly and surely, and I'm not speaking to D, I'm just speaking generally. When you want to talk shit on a hangout, you're starting to sow little seeds out there. And although you might not see the results today, you may not see the results tomorrow. But after time, those seeds germinate and they come up. And they grow into full-blown problems for yourself. Okay? Not my responsibility about what's said on other people's channel about other people. I don't partake in it. I don't, thank you, Scottish. I don't partake in it. Like I said, I don't have any issue with Kat in the real. I don't have an issue with Vegas Vixen. I don't have an issue with Mallory, because I've worked very hard to kind of segregate that and just stick to my own knitting. But I'm not going to use my channel as a platform to address that, except to just say I'm not going to address it and I'm not going to be a part of it. I know he stated that he confesses that he really loves drama. Well, then go for it. Me, I don't like drama. I don't think it has long-term benefits. It doesn't work with doesn't jive with my wanting to leave a legacy of content on YouTube and things like that. Yeah, thank you, Jordan. Thank you. So I'm just saying that I don't want to be involved in what's going on in other people's hangouts. Don't message me about it. Don't Gmail me about it. I don't want to hear about it. You know, word spreads fast enough on the jungle telegraph around the Boyd. Screenshots are taken, people capturing things and all that. So, Rosie knits. I don't knit, Ace. I'm not a knitter. I don't knitter. So, if you have any questions on that, you know, I'll always personally talk to D uh, when we're together. He'll often ask me what I think. I'll ask him about what he thinks. And we just discuss things in private there. And I think that that's the best way to do it. If I have any deeper concerns than just saying, you know, you're a friend of mine, just be careful and don't fall down the hole of planting seeds in communities, okay? Every person that gets mentioned has a cross section of their own supporters and things that feels very strongly about them. Mr. Clean, well, there's a new name. We got Mr. Dirty and we got Mr. Clean. Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm not anybody's keeper because I hang out with D-Dubs and we have a great time. I'm not going to control what he does on his channel. It's his responsibility to do that. Go to the source and speak up over there. Okay. That's all I want to say about that drama thing. Now I'm going to give people who are always not people. Some people are oh you end your hangouts too soon before people get to ask you any questions. So I'm going to just hang on here a bit. If anybody has any questions, I added your channel about a week ago. Oh, thank you very much, Gina. I appreciate that very much. Cheers, La Roxy. So if anybody has any message, the pie was delicious. Let's see, Jock Blue, over drama, too many hurt feelings. Last thing I need, I'm much too easily hurt after what. I'm sorry to hear that, Jack A. Thank you, Kitty Cat. So, Mr. Clean, we got Mr. Dirty, and now we got Mr. Clean in the chat. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, blueberry's one of my favorites. It really sliced very nicely. I think I'm going to give this over to, sit this over here for later. Missy Jenn can pop herself another piece. Yeah, more metal detector videos. I was very lucky that I found silver. When are the plums going to harvest? We already harvested them. When's the next run of liquor? Probably do one over the late fall, winter. Thank you very much, Vegas Vixen. Oh, put the, Mel, put the girls away. Yeah, used to have a blueberry bush. I used to have blueberry bushes too. They just don't do that well in California because of the intense heat. Yeah, do you think a slice of that pie would be good? Yeah, I think it would be awesome, Juice. What did you do in China? I worked for the Royal Bank of Canada over in China. And I used to fly back and forth between Toronto and Hong Kong, which was, well, I used to fly back and forth, but I flew everywhere. Hong Kong to London, which was the second longest nonstop air route in the country. 15 hours flying, 15 and a half hours flying to London nonstop, and 15 hours flying back about every 2 weeks. Brutal. Okay, and I would go to Toronto. You can see when I walk to the old Royal Bank building in Toronto, the Royal York Hotel where I used to stay. Yeah, top secret. Jessica Jennifer, how you doing, honey? With, you know, speaking Mandarin and all that, Mandarin Chinese fluently. So, Do you and Missy Jenn have any children? I have two grown adult children. Long moved on in life. What the fuck is wrong with this blue guy? I don't. I don't know. Are you talking about blue waffle, Smooth? Are you talking about blue waffle? I don't know. I don't know. I'll be around. Vanessa, your glasses are Aussie glasses. I'm not sure. What does that mean? Your glasses ate Aussie glasses. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, Rosie's pregnant. Yeah, ice cream with pie a la mode. This would be a great pie for that. So, I racked up over. Let's just say I maxed out about every airline card that you could have, rewards and point card for. I always was in lounges waiting around. Hello, Chris. How are you? Vanilla ice cream. How did it set up? You want to come on over and have a piece, Chris? I'll cut off half the pie. You can take it home. It's absolutely delicious. A very beautiful pie there. Very nice pie. Yeah, the pie turned out really good. It's set up perfectly. Not an easy job. It was very difficult, Kathy. I would leave at 4 o'clock in the afternoon from Hong Kong. I would have an American Express driver pick me up, drive me from central Hong Kong with my luggage underneath the harbor tunnel, come out up to the airport, Kai Tak Airport, which was basically a horrific airport right in center city. Airline pilots hated to come in there because you came in at rooftop level, and it 50-story buildings of pilots twisting and turning to land between these buildings there coming down to the runway. They absolutely hated it. Okay. And then I would get on the plane. I would fly to London. I have very difficult time sleeping. I couldn't sleep on a plane. I'd get off the plane in London and go right into meetings. Okay. And then the guys in the meetings would want to party in the afternoon. We'd go blow it out at night, catch the red eye back, and be back in Hong Kong for work the next day. I think it was like, 50 hours without sleep. Yeah. Yeah, go look at an old Kai Tak landing in Hong Kong. The airport is right in the harbor on the Kowloon side. I was sitting in my office one day at Exchange Square, and I saw a China Airlines plane go right off the end of the runway and right into the water. Okay. When you come in from the west, you had to descend down between the buildings. And you could be in Kowloon and you would look up, and that Cathay Pacific airplane was just a couple 100 feet, the roar of things, and that baby's coming right down. All the people have their laundry hanging out and crap hanging down, and you're just threading. And sometimes you come in there in the typhoon season, and you're coming in on really high winds and crap, and you're kind of rocking this way and that way, and the plane, and you look out your window and you're looking right down at the a couple 100 feet below, there's all the street. It's a very harrowing, yes they are, LaRoxy. It's a very harrowing experience to be on that. I'm not afraid of flying. I'm afraid of some of the pilots. Like I say, when I used to fly into the interior of China on the Chinese airlines, which were Tupolev Russian prop planes, and I would go out to Sichuan and way out near Tibet over there, and on the Andes, not the Andes, but the Himalaya mountains. You get on one of those planes with Chinese pilots and stuff, they don't even talk to you. Okay? They don't tell you to go to your seat. They don't give you any safety warnings, anything. While everybody's getting in their seat, trying to put their chickens under the seats and keep their pigs crated up or whatever, putting their crap in the overhead bins. All of a sudden, The pilot just puts it in full thrust and right down the runway. And I mean, people were being pushed to the back of the, oh shit, back of the plane. Guys taking off with no warning whatsoever. People were dropping crated chickens. They're like fluttering around the place, okay? It's like nobody gives a shit. Comes time to hand out a bag. Comes time to hand out lunch. Here comes air hostess. Now she's beautiful. She comes down with a box full of baggies, and inside of the baggies is a chicken wing and an apple, and it's like she's dealing in Vegas. She's just tossing this to people in their seats, and the other guys coming behind tossing the water bottles. They're hitting, grandma's trying to grab the grandma doesn't even get a chance to move her hands up, and that plastic water bottle's already conking her in the head. Huh? And then you got to go over the big mountains, and you're looking down, and you're on this Russian prop plane. You're looking out the window. There's just fluid kind of coming off the back of the wing. I guess it's fuel tank expansion or something like that. And you're going up thousands and thousands of feet, and it's like, and you're looking ahead. And here's the top of the mountains, and that pilot starts to push it all the way forward, flaps down, starts to climb, and you're just looking at the snow over top of those things. Yeah, Dr. Strangelove and George C. Scott. That's exactly right. Yeah, thank you. Well, that's the realities of that. I remember the first time I landed in Sichuan, I was smoking cigarettes then. I lit up off of the plane. I had to smoke. You could smoke on the plane. You could do anything. You could have sex. Chinese Airlines. You could have sex in the back. You could be dealing poker. You could set up a roulette wheel. You could do anything. Clean your firearms. You could do whatever the hell you wanted to do on those planes. I'd be smoking, get off the plane, just take my butt. Ding. All of a sudden, this old Chinese guy comes up to me. Bushing, you can't do that. You can't flick your thing. Ni to yen your buhao. Ni ba ni to yen zai nigga defong. He's telling me in China, you can't do that shit. You can't do that. He pulls out this little ticket book. Okay, this little thing with these tissue thin things. He starts writing me out a ticket for like 50 fen, which was like a 6-cent fine, and he collects it right on. He collects it right. He collects it right in front of me, and then he goes and picks up the butt and puts it in the can and take it away. And he's shaking his finger. It was the funniest damn thing. Yeah, well, you got to remember, I was one of the early people back into China after Tiananmen. That was, it was interesting being followed around by the People's Guard, and all that. Yeah, pretty darn funny. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and last call for any questions here this morning. It's been a great stream. Okay, I appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, ni hao. Yeah. Or if you have several people, ni men hao. I need to join the Mile High Club. There you go. It's we got the marine layer, Susie's very deep today, so it's going to take a while to burn off. I am going to do some. I haven't done a mail call for months. I'll be doing a couple sections of mail call coming up on the O'Kelly channel, and then I'll have one on the McNamara channel for people that ask the. You too, Gina. Nice to see you. Have anything? Let me see if there's any other question. Here, let me just scroll down here. I apologize. Did your parents have anything to? No, my mother was not a cook at all. How you doing, How you doing, Oda May? My mother had to cook for a huge cruise, so it was just very functional eats. All right, I will see you guys tonight. Sig, how you doing? Sig, awesome friggin' content, man. Awesome friggin' content. Major kudos to you. Thank you, Tiger Talk. Major kudos to you, Sig. I so enjoy the time and effort that you put in. The phenomenal amount of work that you do is it's there's nothing to match it for content on the boy, nothing at all. Okay, the only thing that could match it is my big rack and a teeny weeny bikini is your gateway gal. Anyway, thank you for being along, everybody. Thank you, my moderators. I appreciate. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I will see you tonight. I'll be having a little having my bourbon sit, and we'll have a lot of laughs tonight on the stream. We'll have a good old-fashioned troll-orama. I've had a ton of requests to do a panel chat. Tons of people want to come on a panel chat. I don't think tonight will be the night, but I might try one time for old time's sake, just a good old throwback shit show, Jerry Springer, Rosie Springer style. I haven't quite decided yet. Okay, yeah, there you go, Kitten Cat. Thank you for being here, everybody. And yeah, Sister Earth, nice to see you. Sorry I missed you. Susie, love you. Mwah. There you go, Beryl. You take care. Bye, everybody.